Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is United Uncle. Hopefully, I found you well. We meet again as we discuss the recent Say Jim interview. I'm sure a lot of you are aware that Say Jim had an interview with Gary Neville on their podcast channel, The Overlap. On this video, I'll talk about the main points which Say Jim said on his interview. Then I'll try to give my opinion and I conclude it. I don't know, it's up to you. Just give me a bit of a time. Say Jim, he started by saying he expected it to be difficult. He didn't expect it to be smooth sailing. He expected a difficult job when he took over. But him being a Manchester United fan, someone born and bred in Manchester, he took the challenge to come in on board. Some they might say he rescued the Glazer, of which it's a point, because even him, he confirmed that with the way the club was being run, it was going to be bankrupt by December this year. End of December 2025, Manchester United was going to be bankrupt. Luckily, he came in and he put some of his money. He helped the Glazers, but in the process, he helped the club. I don't know, guys. There's a lot of things. I've seen a lot of people, they're jumping up and down, crying, Jim did this, Jim did this. But for me, I believe just give the guy a chance. Give the Ineos team a chance. Then we see. Give them some couple of years. Then we see if they don't achieve what they're trying to do. But me, my worry is people have already concluded before these guys have even achieved what they want to achieve. That's what I think. Jim also said he used to buy newspapers. Every day he buy newspaper when he's drinking his tea and croissants. But now he's no longer able to do it because every time people are criticizing him. He was used to be criticized maybe once a month or once in 3 months. But now, since he took over Manchester United, he's being criticized daily. Daily, he's facing criticism. And him is saying it's not been a good job for him. It's difficult for him. He also said that it was difficult for them to work or to do good transfers last summer, because some of the people had just came in the job, the likes of Omar Barada, even Dan Ashworth, even Jason Wilcox, they hadn't had time to sit down and see what happened. He also confirmed that the board sat down, I think last week. First time the full board, everyone represented. First time everyone sat and they talked about the way forward for our team, Manchester United. He also accepted that he has done a lot of wrong things. He has done a lot of wrong decisions. But in the process, he's trying to make things work. He's trying to do good for Manchester United. So he accepts that he has also done wrong decisions. He also said he supports Ruben Amorim. He has done well. If you compare the type of players Ruben Amorim has got, including the loans and injuries, he has done well. That was from the mouth of Say Jim. So for those who expected that Amorim is going to be fired anytime soon, Amorim is not going to be fired because the hierarchy seem to support him. Me, on my personal capacity, I support the coach because there's nothing you can do with those players. Look at the bench. Every time you play a match, you've got only a fit first 11. And look at the bench. And even in our first 11, which is fit, it's not necessarily the first 11 of Amorim if everyone was available. That's why Jim said, with the resources he has got, comparing with the wage bills of the people who are playing now, comparing with other teams, the coach has done well. He was also asked about, does he support this thing by Amorim of getting rid of players like Sancho and what. He supported 100%. Because he said, as a coach, you need to get hold of the dressing room. You need to be in charge. If people are not willing to play the way you want, it's better you get rid of those players. I don't know what to say about that, but me, I say it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because if you are not willing to play for the way I want, you can go. Sancho, everyone. If you are not willing to do what I want, you can go. Go to where you think people will like you. Go to where you think you'll be appreciated. He was also asked about Dan Ashworth. He didn't want to talk up a lot. Because people, there's this thing about NDA, non-disclosure, when someone, these high-profile positions, someone you sign a non-disclosure agreement that you are not gonna say anything for this certain period of time. So even him say Jim, he was not willing to talk about. Was not willing to talk about what happened with Dan Ashworth, but he just said we lacked chemistry. We're not like in lining with each other. They were not like seeing things the same way. That is roughly what Jim said. He also talked about, he was asked about cutting food in the canteen and stuff. He said those are measures which are needed for the team to move forward. We don't necessarily need to put in money to rescue Manchester United, but we can cut a lot of areas because we've got some people who are working at Manchester who are not even necessary. And also you talk that in normal work environment, how many people are being paid? Look at the people who are striking. We support them. They're striking for a good cause. But if you can take all of them, people who are striking, how many people will tell you that they're getting free lunches at work? How many companies are still affording to give workers free lunches? You might think it's a free lunch, but somehow that money is being taken from your salary, of which, to me, it's a valid point. He was also asked that they've got a lot of decisions they need to do. So for them to do those decisions, they need to put the management structure in place first, so that you don't end up getting rid of the wrong people. You don't end up firing the wrong people. That's also the other thing which he said. So he's got full trust in Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, Seb Brentford going down. There's a list of people, even some people who are not even in the limelight, some people we don't even see, who are part of Manchester United day-to-day running of the business. He also asked about the stadium. He said the team is gonna have if everything works well, the team is gonna have a brand new stadium in the next 6 to 7 years. By the end of summer, the training facilities are being already trained. It's gonna be the world in class. But he said, for Manchester United to have a world-class stadium, it needs to go with the regeneration of the area. The regeneration of the area, it needs government support. Because they've got this belief that in the north, we've won a lot of things. If you combine Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, all those teams. But there's less infrastructure, which recognized the efforts which have been done by those football teams. Of which, again, is got a valid point. We need to have a Bernabeu in England, of which in this case in Manchester United. We need to have a new camp. There's a new stadium which is being built by Barcelona or renovated. It's going to be a world class. We need to have something like that in Manchester to resemble a world class team, of which he didn't say anything wrong about it. He also talked that he mainly blamed the management structures, two sets of management structures of Manchester United. People who were running the club in the previous years people who were running the club in the previous years, like the management structures. He doesn't blame the Glazers per se, of which you can understand because they're all business partners. He doesn't really blame them. Me, on my personal capacity, I also blame people who are managing Manchester United. Because in a way, the Glazers have paid money. We've been topping the ranking of money spent at Manchester United. Money spent in buying players. Money spent in hiring coaches. The people who were running the club, they were not necessarily doing the good thing. So all the blame goes to the Glazers, of which people, they've got a valid reason. We call it negligence. They were supposed to manage the team more, but they are away. They gave people to manage the club on their behalf. Of those people, they didn't do a good job. We remember Eddie Woodward, the list is endless. Eddie Woodward, John Mehta, Richard Arnold, the likes. They were not doing a good job because the owners were not present. Now that's why we find ourselves in this problem. He also said they were given a lot of rope to do whatever they want, of which if you check how other teams are managing, the owners are never away. They're always present to help the team. I don't know. What's your take on that one? He was also asked about people who return tickets. He said about 500 tickets were returned to the club. For people who said we are not going to go to the matches, we don't like what we are seeing, it was about 500 tickets which were returned, of which those tickets were issued at a discount. So the club took it and they resold those tickets at normal prices, of which it was a bad PR for the team. But I understand, you are given something on a discount, then you return it. So me, if I want to sell it again, do you think I'm going to sell it on a discount? Or I'll sell it at a normal price? I don't know, guys. What do you say? That's roughly what Jim said. To conclude, me, I understand where exactly they are going. 95% of the things which Jim said are correct. I might be far. I might not be in Manchester. But listening and watching what's happening, I believe he's on the right track. So I urge all supporters, or some, who don't have that hate, just to hate, that is the Glazers, is Ineos, we need to just fight. Give these guys some time. Give them 2 seasons. Give them 4 transfer windows. Let's see what happens. Because now we're in 2025. The season which is going to end in 2026, then the season which is going to end in 2027. Give them those 2 seasons, 4 transfer windows, 1 in the summer, 1 in December, and the other one in the summer, 1 in December. Let's see where the team will be. If they fail, then you crucify them. Like, not crucify in terms of literally crucifying, but you can mourn, you can ask for them to go, things like that. But judging from what he's saying, judging that he's always present when he has time, he's always at Old Trafford when he has time, he goes to, every time he's in England, he always go to matches for Manchester. It's a breath of fresh air comparing to what was happening with the Glazers. That's what I think, guys. I don't know. It's up to you. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, please drop a comment. You can or you can tell me where I did wrong, so that I improve. But I believe the Glazers are onto something. And not the Glazers, the Ineos. Jim and Ineos, I believe they're onto something. We'll talk in 2 years' time. Manchester will be back where it belongs. I thank you.